Hello chat, welcome to another episode of the Misplaced Vlog. In this episode, I traveled across the country to Calgary, Alberta to try and participate in the Magic the Gathering Canadian Regional Championship. You might be wondering, why would somebody travel across the country to go play in a random Magic tournament? Not only does the Regional Championship have a $35,000 cash prize pool, it also has 12 Pro Tour invites and 2 Worlds invites. And although the money would be nice, I want to re-qualify for the Pro Tour, and I think this is the best way to do so. The problem with this goal is that the Regional Championship also requires a qualification to play in, and I don't have a qualification currently. In order for me to play in the main event on Saturday, I have to forego a side event on Friday first. I wouldn't suggest flying across the country to go play in a tournament, or try to play in a tournament you aren't qualified for yet, but if you do, I sure hope that the place you're flying to isn't the frozen hellscape that is Calgary, Alberta in the winter. This meant that even though the main event was Saturday-Sunday, I had to play a bunch of events on Friday. And if I wanted to make sure that I showed up early enough to play as many events as possible on Friday, I should probably show up on Thursday. Luckily for me, a few of my friends also flew in on Thursday, and we managed to catch the same flight in. After we landed, I was planning to relax, maybe grab some food, and prepare for the LCQs that I had to play the next day. This plan was thrown out the window because of Tyler. Tyler's from Buffalo, New York, and loves their football team, the Buffalo Bills. Now, I understand a little bit about what it's like to be a fan of something. Although Magic isn't exactly the same as sports, we do have different players or different archetypes or different colors in the game that we like to care about. When Tyler explained to me that there was a Buffalo Bills themed bar called the Bills Backers Bar in Calgary that we had to go visit to go watch the game at, I thought he was doing a bit or just over exaggerating about watching the Bills game at some random bar. I was wrong. Although I don't know much about football or have any dedication to a team, the scene was somewhat familiar to me. You show up every week, see familiar faces, and have a good time. The main difference here is that I'm watching the Bills throw football games instead of my friends throw matches of Magic. Unlucky, really. Overall, this was a highlight of the trip for me. We were embraced quickly by the Bills community, we ate some medium bar food, and it really kept my mind off the pressure of needing to LCQ into the RC the next day. In the 6 hours of sleep that I got, dreaming about the Buffalo Bills, Edgar had joined us at the Airbnb. We had a few hours to kill before I had to play any of my events, so we found a hipster breakfast place called the Sweatered Hen and talked about the different decks that each of us were playing this weekend. Edgar and Tyler registered Is It Prowess for the main event, while Adam registered Domain Zoo. After I filled my small body with a little bit of meat and eggs, it was time to try and win an LCQ. After all, I did fly across the country to play in an event that I wasn't qualified yet for. Looking at the schedule, there's an event at 1:30, 2:30, 4, 5:30, and 6:30. This meant that if I hopped in the first one and bombed out of it, I probably could hop in the 4 p.m. one, and if I bombed out of that one, the 6:30 one. This meant that I probably have around 3 chances to LCQ into the next day. My deck of choice for the weekend was Jeskai Blink. I was having a good amount of success online in the past few weeks before this event, and I felt very comfortable playing it. Right before the event, I had a discussion with some friends, and I last minute decided to add No More Lies to the main deck, as it complemented the play patterns I enjoyed. I didn't win that many matches, and it seemed like most things just weren't going my way. I won't bore you with any more details, but I didn't end up winning any of the LCQs. Ultimately though, if I really wanted to play in the main event, I could have just qualified before flying across the country, so I don't have anybody else to blame but myself for this. The main event is 9 rounds, and even though it starts at 9 a.m. in the modern format, each round can go well over 50 minutes. Shout out Amulet Titan. During the main event player meeting, I signed up for a modern side event, and by the time I wandered back, the main event had started. In classic fashion, Adam was playing Edgar round 1, and they were both sitting right next to Tyler, which was cool for some photo opportunities, but realistically isn't the best luck to play against your friends in the first round of a 14-round event. As the day went on, in between rounds of my side event, I tried to capture the excitement and nervousness that you see during a competitive Magic event. Although there were sprinkles of it, day ones tend to be a little bit more uneventful. Now don't get me wrong, these 9 rounds are very important, but they function more as a setup to the climax, where the actual pressure starts to set in on day 2. The Airbnb didn't have a great showing overall. Even though Tyler finished day 1 with a 7-2 record, both Adam and Edgar failed to make day 2. Like most other regional events though, we always have many people to root for in the later rounds. After round 9, Fournier was 6-3, Keith was 7-2, The Happy Sandwich was 7-1-1, and Young Dom Harvey, Amulet Guy, was 7-2. Day 2 on Sundays starts at 9 a.m., so the rest of the group wanted to get to the event hall for 9 a.m. I wasn't planning on playing any events, but I did need to pick up a few props for a very small specific reason later in the day. After all, I do love a good gag or a bit or a joke. If you aren't enjoying yourself on a weekend away from home, really, what are you doing? With 1 round to go, both Tyler and Keith are 10-3, so if they win their next round, they'll make top 8 and qualify for the Pro Tour and have the chance to play for a Worlds invite. Dom and the Happy Sandwich were both 10-1, so they could both draw into a Pro Tour invite, which is what they did, instead of playing and potentially losing that Pro Tour invite. Fournier ended up taking his 4th loss in round 10 and was dead for a few rounds leading up to this. Sorry, Fournier. As I watched everyone start to get ready for round 14, I couldn't help but think about how this weekend was different from the majority of other Magic tournament weekends I've had in the past. I was able to wander around and take in a new perspective that I hadn't really had the time to experience before. Even though I was a little frustrated that I didn't get to play the RC myself, it was nice to be on the outside looking in for once and cheer on all my friends as they battled their way through the tournament. I found often when you start playing a lot of Magic tournaments, they end up blurring together and you lose track of space and time as you dedicate yourself to trying to do well in each of these events. Obviously, when I don't have to worry about my plays or my games or my results, it's a lot easier to pay attention to other people's. But I haven't actually had the opportunity to watch somebody else play a full tournament before, or pay attention to the full range of emotions that a Magic tournament can bring. Not only is Magic a pretty difficult game, but when you do anything for 9+ hours, it's hard to stay focused and consistent. And I think that's why these tournaments can be so special. When I don't have a tournament to play, I can still cheer on my friends. I hate to be stereotypically tacky here, but at the end of the day, it's not really about the Magic, but more so the Gathering. If you couldn't tell already, Keith ended up winning his win-in and qualified for his first Pro Tour, finishing round 14 as the first seed in the event. Unfortunately, Tyler lost his win-in and finished 18th after round 14. Dom ended up drawing into top 8, and the Happy Sandwich drew into 9th, but 9th still gives a Pro Tour invite. So this qualifies him for his first Pro Tour also. With day 2 only being 5 rounds, we had enough time to squeeze in a celebratory dinner of beer and wings before a few people had to catch their flight back home. Tyler, Adam, and I were going to be staying a few extra days so we could go visit the beautiful Lake Louise. If you haven't had the opportunity to go, I really suggest it. It was the best part of the trip for me. And even though I didn't qualify for the main event like I wanted to, I had a lot of fun on this trip, and I'd even say that it was probably one of the better trips I've been on for Magic in the past few years. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you'll join me for the next vlog, and next time I'll try my best to actually play the event that I'm vlogging about.